Good morning, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Rambling with Ruddle. I am, as always, your faithful companion, sometimes known as the Hack in the Box, but mostly known as Taylor Ruddle. I've got a real treat for you this episode. It is something kind of never been done before in the realm of podcasting, as far as I'm aware. If you've listened to this podcast before, you're probably aware of the fact that I host several quiz nights throughout Christchurch and hopefully beyond for a company called G Quiz. Now, my guest for this week is Sam. Now, he is the owner and, I guess, creator of the company G Quiz. So Sam writes all the quizzes that I host throughout the week. And Sam has become sort of almost like a mentor figure to me in many ways. He is teaching me the ropes, certain aspects of dealing with venues and putting on like corporate events and all that sort of thing, as he's been around the block for a while and he kind of knows how to get it all done. And a while ago, Sam mentioned to me that he thought it would be quite a cool idea to create a quiz podcast, which is almost like the idea of going through a quiz with regular panelists, I guess you would call them. And I thought this was a fantastic idea because, to me, some of the fun of going to a quiz night is the process of kind of noodling out the answer with your teammates or your friends, whatever they are. Which I thought if you could get the right panelists, it would transfer quite well to the format of a podcast. And being the consummate narcissist that I am, I requested that I be the, the crash test dummy of this format of the quiz. And we thought it would be quite cool if Sam just quizzed me and I talked out loud and showed through my working of some of the questions. So you can consider this quiz a sort of backdoor pilot episode to a proper quiz that is going to release hopefully within the next few weeks. I know Sam and I caught up and he said that he had recorded one session, so I think he's going to go and do a bunch of them, get them all kind of tidied up and edited, and then he'll begin releasing them. But as for right now, I think I won't waste any more of your time. We can just get straight into the quiz. You'll be able to see how quickly I expose myself for being kind of an idiot. And don't worry, the irony is not lost on me that as somebody who hosts a ton of quizzes, I'm not very good at them. But I think the quiz was, the whole podcast, was really entertaining. I really, really enjoyed talking through the answers, or talking through my thinking with Sam, and I hope it's as entertaining to listen to as it was to actually record. So with that, let's welcome to the podcast, Sam from G Quiz. Hello, Sam, and welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Taylor. Great to be here, and looking forward to trying to stump you with a few trivia questions for our what we call a bit of a pilot to see if a quiz podcast will work quite well.
Exactly. I don't think you're going to have to try very hard to stump me, because when I'm hosting a lot of your quiz nights, I generally don't know the answers unless I'm reading them. So this could be a very short podcast, but we'll see how we get on.
I'm sure you'll surprise yourself. You'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
We'll see how we go. So it should be interesting. So
I'll hand it over to you, and maybe you talk us through the format, and then we'll see how we get on.
Cool. All right. So my name's Sam. I run G Quiz, who runs trivia throughout New Zealand, and Taylor here is one of our great quiz hosts down in Christchurch. Taylor also runs his own podcast, as most of you will know that. So what better way to test out a quiz podcast than with the podcast maestro himself, Taylor? He knows the... So basically what we're going to do today, we're going to run through 2 general knowledge rounds, see how Taylor goes with 10 questions each round. If we've got time, we might do a bit of a last person standing, 50-50 questions as well. So we've got, as I said, 10 questions each round. We'll go through the full round like a normal quiz and then go through the answers and see how Taylor gets on. And you at home can answer them as well.
See if you get higher points than me at home.
Yeah, that's the challenge. See if you can beat our guest. So let's get into it. First round.
Do we want to do an icebreaker first? You asked me to bring an icebreaker.
Oh, yeah.
So
So that's right. And what we'll do before we get into the quiz, each quiz is we've asked the guest to bring a fun fact along to make things start off well with an interesting fact. So what's your fun fact, Taylor?
So this was quite a trepidation for me, as I thought a lot of the facts that I consider fun are maybe not what people are looking for when they say, give us a fun fact for the table. So here's the fact that I've brought along was they don't say it in the films, but in the books, the reason that the Fellowship of the Ring in Lord of the Rings was 9 members was to counteract the 9 ring wraiths, and Elrond says about as much. And so they were kind of being like a force of 9 light side riders against the 9 dark side riders. And I always thought that was cool, but they never mention it in the movies.
Oh, I'm sure the Lord of the Ring fans would enjoy that one if they didn't already know that fact. Lord of the Rings is not my special point, so
Your forte.
my forte. So even though although I was a young fella down in Wellington when it was filmed, so I did have a extremely minor role in that film.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
What
did.
did you play?
A Gondorian soldier along with about 200 other people.
How good. Because that movie really propped our economy up for many years, didn't it?
It did. And another interesting fact is that we're running down a hill. This is at Dry Quarry Creek in near Stokes Valley there in the hut. And we're supposed to be running down the hill, and Gandalf kind of cuts in between us. And because there's so many of it, I got shafted to the right and bumped and ran into the way of the horse. And then Gandalf, who I thought, I was pretty young back then, and I thought this was Sir Ian McKellen. He cracked the shits. He was like, I can't work with these people, blah, blah, blah. And I was the main guy, person who ran in front of him, and he's blown up something chronic. And I was like, geez, I've pissed off Sir Ian McKellen. This is like at 3 o'clock in the morning, by the way.
Yeah.
And then the movie comes out. I'm like, hold on, that wasn't the guy that was bloody going crazy. It was actually just a stunt. It was a stunt double.
So when you learned it was the stunt double, you were like, "Oh, that's fine. I don't care about pissing off the stunt double."
Oh no, no. So I thought it was quite funny, but nothing I could do because there was about 200 people running down this hill in this fake plastic armor, and then they've got these this who I thought was a star, but he's saying he can't work with these amateurs. Well, I obviously was an amateur, but that was the one thing I do remember about. It was a 12-hour shift. That was it.
Yeah.
You know? So so I'm sure that fun fact the hardcore Lord of the Ring fans will appreciate. I'm sure.
I like to hope so.
Yes.
Well, that's a cool story out of you. So yeah, good. So I guess we'll get on to the question, shall we?
All right, let's go. First one is geography question. So this is question 1 of the first round.
Okay.
So Romania, Russia, and Rwanda are 3. How many other countries in the world start with the letter R?
Oh my goodness. How many other countries start with the letter R?
Yes.
Okay. So Romania, Rwanda, and
Russia.
So what else?
And for this instance, Republic of doesn't count.
Oh, so the Republic of Congo is not a. Okay, so just one. Okay, I need to think. So far, I'm at 0, and other countries that start with R. This is a struggle, actually. I might be going into this first one with 0. Yeah, I'm just going to take a punt because I honestly can't think of any other ones that start with the letter R off the top of my head. But I reckon there's a trick. I reckon it'd be too obvious to say 0.
Some people get their answer, then they might add 1 or 2, but that is always risky.
That's what I was thinking of doing.
What we often do is like how many, because we like in our quiz teams to kind of work together to come up with an answer, and it might be how many US states begin with T, and they have to work together. But sometimes they come up with an answer, they add 1, but it might be to their folly. So you need to make a call on that, Taylor.
I'm gonna. So this is how many others start with R. I reckon there's at least 2. So I'm gonna say 2 others. Okay. That's my answer for the first question.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer for the first question.
Okay. You should have stuck with big fat 0.
Oh, was that the answer?
Yes.
Damn. Well,
there are only 3 countries starting with R.
Wow. Well, there's a fun fact for the listeners out there.
A bit of a trick question there to start off with.
Even still,
Some
though.
people say Rarotonga. Rarotonga is not the Rarotonga is within the Cook Islands, so it's not a country.
Oh,
So,
not a standalone
oh,
country.
now we weren't supposed to go through the answers, but that's all right.
We can just do the answers one after the other, I
Yeah,
think.
okay. I think that's good. Yeah,
That doesn't
that's
make me
fine.
feel so bad that I couldn't think of any other R countries. So I actually
But
feel
yeah,
better now that I've heard the answer.
yes. But sometimes it is a good idea to go with your gut and
Yes.
your first. You think all right, this one's maybe a bit more simple question.
Yep.
What is the colloquial name for rolling two ones in dice?
I know that one. Snake Eyes.
Snake eyes. Well done.
It's also a
Nice and easy
professional
there,
wrestling
Taylor.
move involving dropping the opponent face first into the corner turnbuckle.
Is it?
They refer to that
Didn't
as
know that
Snake
one.
Eyes. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I grew up watching WWF in the late 80s.
Yeah, if you remember Diesel and The Undertaker, it was one of their
Yeah.
moves was to drop people.
Okay.
They'd put them up over their shoulder and they'd kind of hoist
Yeah.
them off, and the person would come down with their face first on the corner turnbuckle, and they referred to that as Snake Eyes.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Another
All right,
fun fact, eh?
I'm 1 for 2 then, so I feel pretty
All
good
right.
now.
All right. Okay. Which American that lived between 1847 and 1931 was known as the Wizard of Menlo Park?
Oh, that is a great question. So it was
They lived between
18, just give me the dates again, sorry.
1847 and
Yep.
1931. So
Okay,
that's they lived to about 84.
and this was just before, when was World War One? That was,
Not 1914.
oh, okay, shit, I was way off there. So they survived the First World War, and they were the Wizard of Menlo Park. Uh, Am I allowed to ask any follow-up questions to this?
Yeah. That's fine.
So is this person, like, was that the most famous name they were known by? Is this like a celebrity that we would all know?
You'd know him.
Okay, so it is someone.
Yeah, I mean, famous person. I don't know if they had celebrities back in those days.
Yeah.
I guess. But Wizard, smart.
Okay.
Menlo Park, that is where they did a lot of their work.
Okay, so Menlo Park. I don't know where that is, but it feels like London to me.
It's in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So which American?
Okay. Which American was known as the Wizard of Menlo Park? I'm picturing a chess hustler, but
How
also
many chess hustlers do you know? Sorry,
they-
Menlo Park. It's not. Oh, no, it is. There's a Menlo Park in California, but there is also one in New Jersey. I think
Gotcha.
it's actually named after the township is named after this person.
Wow. Okay.
He set up his home and research laboratory there.
Oh, that's a pretty big clue there. The research laboratory wizard. Oh, is it the guy? Who was the guy that cut? He was flying a kite, and
Tesla.
Was it Tesla? Was he the one that had the lightning strike the kite, and then there was a key hanging from it or something, and that was how they discovered electricity? Well, that was Thomas Edison, wasn't it? Yeah, Thomas Edison. That's my guess.
Yeah, I was trying to throw you. Yes, Thomas Edison is.
Is it
correct.
really?
Well done, Taylor. Yeah, it is.
Yes. Oh man,
Well done.
I am shocked
Well
that I
done.
got that. Wow.
Good effort. You got there. You got there in the end.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So he was obviously probably the most famous inventor in the world.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ever. You know,
The Wizard
so
of Menlo Park. That's really cool.
he set up his essentially research lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey, which was named after the Menlo Park in California.
Got it.
Thomas Edison.
Damn.
All right. Well, now we've got a multi-choice now.
Oh,
All right. So
yes.
Are you familiar with the site Cameo?
Yeah.
Are you on Cameo? Do you do cameos,
No.
Taylor?
No one would buy them, but I'm not on Cameo.
All right, maybe one day.
Yeah, someday. That's the dream.
Who charges $15,000 US for a Cameo shout out, regarded as the most expensive in the world?
Oh.
Is it A, Floyd Mayweather, B, Kris Jenner, so the Kardashians'
Yep.
mother, or Chris Angel, the magician?
That is a good question. So
It's the most
15,000.
expensive cameo around, $15,000 US if you want a cameo from this person.
So my gut feeling with that one is that does Floyd Mayweather still call himself Money Mayweather?
He does.
my feeling is that Floyd Mayweather's got a lot of fans who would pay that kind of money. Actually, does it say how many of these they've sold? Because I mean, I could just start up a Cameo page and have it as 16,000.
Oh,
But
true, 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 true. It doesn't. I don't actually have those statistics. There
yeah,
are 30,000 celebrities. I think, yeah, 30,000 celebrities on the platform. I think they range from about $5 to up to
yeah,
15,000. It
okay.
doesn't say how many this person has
Has actually
sold.
sold. So my gut feeling is still that Floyd Mayweather's probably got fans who would pay $15,000 to have a message from him. Who was the third person on that list again? Sorry, Chris
Do you know
Angel.
Chris
I
Angel,
I do.
the illusionist?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Mind Freak when I was growing up on MTV.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Chris Angel. I don't really know much about him, but he doesn't really seem like he would have a massively self-inflated ego about himself. I could be wrong in saying that though. So my feeling is that being said, so Chris Angel's career is not exactly going that well right now. Floyd Mayweather's career, he's retired, but he still seems like he's doing quite well. I'm going to say Kris Jenner doesn't need the money, so I'm going to eliminate that one straight away because I feel like they just do all sorts of other media and stuff.
Yep.
Do you know what? I reckon Chris Angel needs the money. I'm going to say Chris Angel final answer.
All right. Again, Taylor, maybe you should have gone with your gut.
Uh-huh.
It's Floyd
Damn it.
Mayweather.
Okay. Okay.
I
I
think
wonder
it's
what.
more like one of the. It's more like I think if Chris Angel was doing, he need the money, he probably wouldn't charge that much, right? Because people aren't going to do that. For
True.
Floyd Mayweather, it's kind of like got to be worth as well. Sometimes when you're booking a tradie and you get four quotes, and there's one tradie that doesn't need the work, and they'll charge about three times more than anyone else. If they get it,
Uh,
well, it's awesome. If they
yes.
don't, doesn't matter. I think it's a bit like that,
Yes.
So
No, you're
if
right.
Floyd has to do it, has to do a 10-second cameo.
I wonder
He
what
gets
that
he.
that 15 grand gets you. Like, does he do a little bit of shadowboxing and does he like maybe you can send him a photo of your nemesis and he tapes it on a punching bag and
I
batters
doubt
it
it.
for a second?
I think it'd be very minimalistic
Yeah.
for Floyd. Fifteen
Yeah.
thousand dollars probably not. I mean, the amount of money he got through that Conor McGregor fight,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't really need the money. Yeah,
thousands of times that.
I just pictured Chris Angel having to sit down with his accountant and then being like, "It's not looking good, Chris. Like, we need to bring in some money quick." And then so he's like, "We'll go on Cameo." But no, yeah, fair enough. I'll
All right.
I'll,
Oh,
I'll
well, hey,
take the L on that one.
you took a stab. But again, gut. You would be
S-
5 out of 5.
Sometimes you just gotta risk it, eh?
All right, we're going to go back to the 90s. Were you must have been a young tyke back in the 90s or
Yeah,
not even half born?
I was born in 92, so I was waddling around
92.
for some of the 90s.
All right. Were you watching the Oscars when you were in nappies?
I I'm gonna say no, but
Okay. All right. Well,
you know,
look, give this one a crack.
uh
Okay. Uh, David Letterman, Billy Crystal, and which female actor and comedian were the only people to host the Oscars in the 1990s?
oh, so it's
So
a
being a comedian,
yeah. This would be embarrassing if I get it wrong. So it's a lady comedian, and
mhm,
she was the only one to host the Oscars in the 90s.
along with David Letterman and Billy Crystal.
So that was them. Were they a three-piece? They were.
No, separately.
Oh, okay.
So in the decade of the 90s, it was only three people hosted. Letterman might have done it like in 90, 92, and
Gotcha.
95.
Billy Crystal did it.
Now, yeah.
Okay. And then there's a lady comedian. So the
Well, I'll pause you there.
90s.
Pause you.
Okay.
Think more of an actress than a comedian. She's
Okay.
better known for her films and TV appearances rather than her stand-up comedy.
Okay. Okay. So let me think about this. The ones more known for TV and film, but still did stand-up comedy. Is this person still kind of relevant to this day?
Yes.
Okay. So,
She's on a very popular television panel show in the US.
ah, okay. That is a really good hint. I just have to think about what US panel shows they have. Because I only watch mostly like British panel shows. But I guess the US would have a version of that. So my feeling is going for,
It's not a comedy, not really a comedy panel show. It's more to discuss issues.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
This is a tricky one.
If I gave you another clue, she's African American.
Okay.
Would that help?
It might. It might. African American lady comedian who hosted the Oscars. Is it like Whoopi Goldberg?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna look in Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, it's correct. Well
Is
done.
it really? Okay.
It is.
I think
Well done.
You might have made that one too easy for me. Do you know, weirdly, my memories of Whoopi from the 90s were her in Hollywood Squares.
Oh yeah.
I think she was
Yes, so
she
I
was a big
vaguely
panelist
remember
there.
that. I vaguely remember that.
Never understood how that show worked as a child, but
Was that the one where they sit up in the
yeah, the big
that
cubes.
one?
And then they had to they had to they had to answer questions or something. And
That's right.
I think it was like if
They
the
did they lie? They could lie?
I think
that
that
the
was
one?
they had to answer. I remember the Simpsons parodied it once where they
And the tsunami came.
yeah, Homer's sitting on it and he's like, "Wait, do I read from the panel? Do I read from the sheet that's labeled jokes or answered?" And then they're like, "Oh, you idiot, you've spoiled everything." So that was kind of my only knowledge of Hollywood Squares.
Well, I remember on The Simpsons, I wasn't there a tsunami and
Yes, and
they were doing it on the beach?
they all crawled up to like Ron Howard's square because he was in the top row, so they're
That's
all trying
right.
to climb
That's
up
right.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, Whoopi Goldberg. That's
I think there might have been a New Zealand version of that.
the Wellywood Squares.
Something like that. Yeah, Wellingwood Squares. I
Interesting.
don't think it went there well. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to
Yes.
another geography question.
Yep.
Which tiny European country has a national anthem named High Above the Young Rhine? Rhine's a river. Sung to the same tune as God Save the King
Okay.
or God Save the Queen. Now, I'll tell you a clue. The country has a population of just under 40,000.
Okay. So tiny European country, and they have a song called High Above the Rhine. Now, this is going to be really embarrassing because I know I recognize the Rhine from something, and I feel like my recognition of that comes from Julius Caesar's conquest of like Gaul. So my feeling is it's somewhere in like that kind of France, Belgium, Germany part of Europe. So
Yes,
you go ahead.
the Rhine is the second longest river in Central and Western Europe after the
Okay.
Danube. So yeah, you're right. It goes through Swiss countries,
Yeah.
German cities, German cities, and obviously high above the young Rhine. This small country, sits high above the river, I dare say,
Yeah.
and it's sung to the same tune as God Save the King.
Interesting. So it would be sung in this country's native language, presumably, or would it be sung in English?
I'd say it would be
They've probably got both, haven't they?
potentially. I'd say probably
Yeah.
the main language.
So my feeling is it's going to be one of those countries like Switzerland or like,
Well, remember,
but
it's got
it's
40,000
yeah, so the small
population.
thing. I'm going to say Estonia. That's my
Estonia?
final answer.
Okay, it is Liechtenstein.
Oh, okay, I was way off.
Liechtenstein. Yeah. But
Okay.
Liechtenstein, I expect a lot of people put Luxembourg. Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, both very small countries.
Yeah.
Around the same area. But that's all right.
Liechtenstein was always one of those countries that there's those names of countries that sound like they're made up, like Timbuktu, I think is a real place, right?
Yeah, it's in Mali. It's a city in Mali in Africa, yeah.
And then people would always
Liechtenstein.
That was another one of those ones people were like, I'm gonna end up in Liechtenstein or something. It was always like Timbuktu, Liechtenstein, something like that.
One of those far off countries that no one's ever been to kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you into cycling? Watching Tour de France?
I like the idea of it, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I watch. So let's see how this one goes.
Yeah. All right. In the Tour de France, the Lanterne Rouge is the title given to the cyclist who finishes in which place?
Oh, okay. This is a great question. The Lanterne Rouge. So my rudimentary knowledge of French makes me feel like rouge is a red color because that's the makeup that there's like a type of makeup called rouge.
That's correct. Yes.
So then what does that correspond with a place in the race? Lantern Rouge, is it with it?
Lantern Rouge, yeah.
Lantern Rouge. Lantern is in like a hanging lantern.
Correct.
Okay. So it feels like a red light or something.
You're dead
I
right there.
I feel like this means that they are somebody who's like blocking or slowing down other races. Because a red light, you stop at a red light, right? So I reckon the question was specifically which place throughout the race is the Lantern Rouge?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a
I
fairly specific place. So it's not like 78th or anything like
yes,
that.
yeah. I reckon. So my feeling is that it's third place because I know cyclists race in teams, and I'm sure there's some strategy involved with like certain races, like trying to stay in front of other people to keep like rivals back while
Yep.
somebody else heads ahead. So yeah, I'm gonna say fourth place because I feel like it's the person that helps, hopefully, someone from your team get first place. First, second, or third are the ones that win it. So I'm gonna say fourth.
Okay. Oh, I like your working out there. Uh, the answer is actually last place.
Oh, yeah. So that was
The
my next.
last.
That I thought like it was going to be that, or it was going to be something really specific. So do you know where the origin of that term comes from?
Yeah, it comes from the well, it means red lantern, and it
Hmm.
refers to the red lantern hung on the rear vehicle of a passenger railway, train.
Yes.
So or a freight train.
Yeah.
Signalman would look for in order to make sure none of the couplings had been disconnected. So there's a little red lens used to hang down. So it's kind of like in a similar way to a lighthouse, a
Yes.
little red lens. It's a signify.
Yeah.
And it signified the last carriage.
I love that question. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
it is. It
languages though,
is.
so learning about the or like etymology, whatever they call it, is really fascinating to me.
Michael Morkov was the last winner of the Lantern Rouge
Do
Danish.
they do they give them like a little medal or something
I
for
think
being
they
the
do.
Lantern Rouge? Awesome.
I think they do, which is quite cool. So in a quiz, we don't like to, sometimes we give prizes for second to last.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The reason why we don't do last place is because people, if they know there's a prize on the line,
They'll tank it.
they'll tank it. We still get people that tank it,
Yeah.
even because they don't want to come second to last. They're going to get 6 and 5 in the first couple of rounds. They're, we're not going to win, so let's try and get the prize, and then they'll kind of half-ass it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a bit risky. But yeah, so that's why we don't do last place. So you wonder if someone wants to win the Lantern Rouge, they just go real slow. Who
Yes.
knows?
Yeah.
Who
I
knows?
wonder if we should come up with a term for quizzing the second to last, like the Lantern Rouge. Maybe
Yeah,
that could be
maybe,
a project for
maybe.
this year as we come up with a
Yeah,
name for
yeah.
that position. And like at my Moi Moi quiz, the prize is 2 churros. So maybe I could play something. We'll call it the
Oh, for second to
churro
last.
prize. Yes, yeah. Double
Oh, really?
churros
That's cool.
vouchers.
Oh,
It's not a
nice.
bad voucher to be honest.
I'll take that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Better than 7th out of 12 teams, isn't it? Get nothing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And no one remembers you.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay. Now we're going into the early 2000s
Hmm.
when you were just a bit older than the
Mm.
90s. It's a
Hmm.
multi-choice. The Von Dutch clothing brand, known for its popularity during the trucker hat explosion of the early 2000s, features which body part with wings as its logo?
Okay.
Is it A, a foot, B, an eyeball, or C, a heart?
Okay, so Von Dutch, by trucker head explosion, I'm guessing you mean in popularity, not that there was literally like a silo full of trucker hats that
Correct.
exploded. Okay.
That actually happened, but in this instance, everyone was wearing a trucker hat, Von Dutch trucker hat back in there. Was a fashion back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Lasted maybe a good year, and Von Dutch were the main brand that rolled it out. So their logo had a body part with wings.
Yes.
So was it a foot, eyeball, or heart?
Okay. Von Dutch. I feel like I have seen a type of trucker hat that is popular nowadays, but I believe it has a wheel with a single wing on it. So I'm gonna say that's not Von Dutch. I'm gonna so my this is one of the ones where my instincts tell me it's the foot. Um, However, a heart with wings is quite a quite an aesthetic design that I think people would really latch onto. S but when you say foot, uh, the foot doesn't have a shoe on it or anything like that. Would it just be like you could see the toes and everything
Just a
like that? A
barefoot.
barefoot. Okay. Oh, that makes me that puts a
A
little bit of doubt.
little bit of toe jam.
Yeah, exactly. It puts a bit of doubt in my mind because I don't know who would actually wear this design was because it was the logo of the company. So I was going to say if it was the most popular design, could I really see a a hat with a foot on the front of it becoming really popular? I think I'm gonna have to just go out on a limb. Good pun because it's a foot.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
out on a limb. I'm gonna say it's the foot. That's my final answer.
Okay. It's actually the eye.
Oh no!
Eyeball.
Oh dear, I was way
Eyeball.
off. Von Dutch. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
quickly Google that and see what it looks like because that could either be really cool or really creepy. Von
You
Dutch.
might have to type in eyeball because I
Oh,
don't
it's
think they use it
literally
anymore.
it's like a veiny.
Mm,
That's a lot more detailed than I thought it was going to be.
mm.
Wow, you learn something new every day.
It made the brand made a resurgence in 2016 when none other than Kylie Jenner was seen wearing the
Ah,
famous trucker hat, jackets, and two-piece sets around the show. So
yeah,
made a bit of resurgence because it had a massive decline after I think in 2004. So
yeah. Well,
anyway,
I've just got the alert saying we've got 10 minutes left. I may chop this bit, so I'm just going to click my mic a little bit. How far into the questions are we?
we done 9. So maybe after this one
We'll do the
we
last
could
person.
start again. Yeah, maybe, yep,
We'll just do
yep,
one session and then do
yeah.
it as a
I think so.
teaser
I
because
think so. Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
been a lot of fun doing this quiz. So
It has. It has. It's actually gone a lot better than I thought with one person. Like your workings out's really good.
yeah. All right,
So,
so take it away.
all right. Seems to be a few fashion questions in this one, and style.
Well, you looked at me and you were like,
Now,
"There's a man that knows his fashion."
well, you might even use one of these bad boys
Uh-huh.
in this next question. Better known as GHD. What is the full name of the well-known hair straightener company?
I actually know this because an ex-girlfriend many years ago told me what it means, and it's Good Hair Day, isn't it? Final
You are
answer.
correct. You are correct.
That's
You can thank
yeah,
your
I think
ex-girlfriend for that one.
yeah, exactly. So if she's listening, cheers, Copper. Um, I thought that was
Australian.
a no, but yeah, I thought that was a great name for it, and it's one of those weird little bits of information that's stuck with you all these years.
Yeah. Well, and interestingly enough, when I was an actual quizzer before I started
Going
running
pro.
trivia, our team name, we had a quiz team for about 3 years down here in Thorndon, Wellington, and our team was Bad Hair Day because that
Ah,
was
there you go.
back when I had a bit more hair. So,
Right.
you know, but yeah, Good Hair
Nice.
Day. So quite a popular hair straightener company.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think we could almost probably fill a whole nother podcast on the mythology of the quiz team name because there are so many different patterns that you see popping up in different quiz nights. Like we had the Christmas ones that we did. We just finished up a run of Christmas ones, and every time I did one, I had to separate about 3 teams who all submitted Santa's Little Helper as their quiz name.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because I don't know if I even got that one. I had dozens of teams for our Christmas quiz. I don't know if I even saw that one. But I did see
interesting.
a lot of nice puns. I like the puns on the original Christmas puns on the original names because a lot of teams have the same team name every week,
Yes, that's
and they made
true.
a Christmas pun on it. But
Yes, that's a cool
you
idea.
could do a full podcast on team names.
Because there are certain stock ones, like you've probably received the one where the person
Oh,
sets their name as, I wish this microphone was a penis.
I saw that one uh down at Moi Moi, and I
Yes.
laughed because I hardly ever see that one.
Interesting.
But we
Maybe we're
get, I'll tell
just,
you what, every week there's quiz in your face or
yep,
quiz on my
that's
face.
every week. Yep.
And the funny thing with that one is a new team will hand it in and they'll look at me to start cracking up laughing. But when you've seen it about
Uh-huh.
50,000 times
Yes,
over the course of however many
exactly.
years, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's why I love the really original ones. I love the really original ones. But I mean, a lot of teams do think that's original.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we have seen many. I mean, Cosy Rascal's a big one.
Yep. See that a lot.
Quiztima Aguilera or Quiztina Aguilera. All the kind of quiz puns.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
know.
I'm sidetracking you. Let's do
Yes.
these 50-50 questions, and then that'll
All
basically
right.
be us, I think.
All right. We'll just count up your scores.
Oh
So
yes, how do I do?
you got Snake Eyes 1, Thomas Edison 2. We actually missed the question, Taylor.
Did we?
I missed the question, so I've got one more quick
What's the
question.
question? Yeah.
Which animals cry out in the night in the song Africa?
Oh Christ. Okay. Animals cry out in the night in the song Africa
By Toto, yeah.
by
You
Toto.
know the
Yeah.
song, obviously.
Yes, yes, of course. I don't know the song that well though, apparently. Um, let's go with hyenas.
Close.
Yeah.
Wild dogs.
Oh,
They're different. They're
okay.
different. They're
Yes,
different.
no, they are different. Um,
They're
well,
not
that's
actually
good.
wild dogs. They look like hyenas. They're not actually scavengers. They're more hunters,
No,
whereas
they're a lot
hyenas are
bigger as well,
dedicated
aren't they?
scavengers. Yeah, Wellington Zoo used to have a couple of wild dogs, and they
Mm,
were cool. I don't know if they died or they no longer there, but it was
yeah.
really cool. So wild dogs cried in the night. So we
Mm.
won't count that one. So we got Snake Eyes, Thomas Edison. You got right. You got Whoopi Goldberg. You got good headache. So a solid 4. You're going so well. A solid 4 out of 10, Taylor.
I'll take that. I'll take that any
If
day of
you
the
went
week.
0, if you went 0 and Floyd, you would have got 6. But hey, it's
Yes.
just you. You know, when you're a team of 6 smart people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My God, but yeah, good start. Not too bad. Not too bad. You're pretty close to some of them.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just close enough.
Take it. Take it's first time, you know. So
Yeah, exactly.
take it. All right. So now we're just going to do last person standing until you get it wrong. So how
Yep.
this works, we're going to give you a question with 2 possible answers. If you let us know which answer you think it is. If you get it right, you go to the next question and so on. The aim, obviously, is to get all 10. If you do that, you're a legend. So let's go through it. In which year was Pepsi Cola introduced? Was it 1893 or 1936?
I'm gonna say it is 18. I'm gonna say 1936 for that one, just because I don't feel like Pepsi's that old. Actually, I'm gonna change my answer there and say it's 18. Sorry, I've completely spoiled that. Should we just let them in on what's happened there?
I did a bit of a shake of the head, didn't I?
Yeah, I could see it very clearly on your face, but
just to keep the game going.
yeah, well, let's pretend I got that one right, so the
All
audience
right.
knows what to
Oh, you mean
expect.
1893 for that one, didn't you?
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yes, yeah.
Thank
And
you.
you obviously know about Caleb Bradham.
Who, sorry?
You Caleb Bradham, the man who invented it.
Yeah, of course, and I know
It was
actually.
originally called Brad's Drink, and
Oh,
then
I thought it was named after like Peptic ulcers or something like that. And
it was advertised to relieve dyspepsia,
dyspepsia,
which is
that's what it was.
indigestion. So yeah, Brad's Drink, 1893. 5 years later, changed to Pepsi Cola. Brad's Drink, not sure if it would have taken off.
Nah, not really,
right? But Pepsi,
Yeah, hand me a nice cold Brad's drink.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound that appealing, eh?
And cookies wasn't invented back then, so if you
No.
had indigestion, just suck down some Brad's Drink.
Don't you
Soon
just
to
love
become Pepsi.
old medical advice? Like doctors would tell you to go and have a smoke to relieve stress or something like that.
Yeah,
Eh?
love it.
See
All
if we
right,
can get
let's
through some
count that
more.
one. Okay, all right. Kate Shepherd, the most prominent member of the women's suffrage movement in New Zealand, was born in which country? New Zealand, I usually say hands on heads, hands on hips. You don't need to do that. New Zealand or England. Where was Kate Shepherd born?
I'm going to say New Zealand because she's a big point of pride for us, and I'm going to feel really stupid if it's not. But yeah, New Zealand.
Okay. This is awkward.
She's not.
Really awkward. No, she's born in England.
Wow, man, I'm 0 for 2. I'm really sucking at this round.
That's all right. You would have in the real quiz, you just would have sat down with the 50% of the other people. That's all.
Exactly.
Kate Shepherd. She came over here as a young tyke.
Yeah.
Youngster.
Oh, she moved here because she's a New Zealand figure, right?
Born in Liverpool. Settled in. You should know this because she lived in Christchurch.
Oh crap, that is really embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm not sure when she came over here. Actually, maybe it wasn't. She wasn't young. I don't know. But yeah, Kate Shepherd. Born in Liverpool, England, in 1848. Lived to the ripe old age of 86.
She did pretty well. I think we've got about a minute left, so let's get one more in.
All right. Here's a foot question for you. More than 1/4 of human bones are in the feet. True or false?
Quarter of human bones.
Quarter, yep.
No, I'm going to say false.
Okay, it's actually true.
Oh my God, I suck at this. Oh dear.
Lots of little bones there. Lots of little bones there. I think it's 236 bones.
Wow.
Is that right in the human body?
206, yeah.
Oh, 206. Yes.
I'll
Where did
give-
I get the extra 30
I'll
from?
give you my logic there. My logic was that it was hands and feet was a quarter of the bones because they both have a lot of small ones. I had no idea it was a quarter of the bones in the feet though.
I guess it's both feet though, right? Eh?
That's true. Yeah, 2 feet,
Yeah, didn't think of that.
a
Didn't
lot
think
of
of that.
bones. Alrighty, so that is basically all the time we have for this session. That was a whole heap of fun on my end. How did you feel about it, Sam?
Yeah, well, I thought it went a lot better than I originally anticipated. My original idea was to have at least two people on. I think three people answering questions might be a bit much. I think two is the sweet spot where the two participants can bounce ideas off it. But I thought you explained your thinking really well to get to your answer, whether it was right or wrong.
It does help that you were very lenient quizmaster.
A
drip
couple of
drip
times,
feeding more information.
couple of times, but there was a couple you knew, which was good. Others that you took an educated guess and you got correct, and there was others you're a bit way off, which is basically what a full round of trivia we want.
Absolutely.
We want to have, you know.
Yeah, really.
And yeah,
it really exceeded my expectations as to how interesting it was. Like I knew, to me, part of the fun of doing a trivia night is that you learn interesting things about the world. And so I think we were just talking about this a little bit off air, but the conversation about the Lantern Rouge to me was like, oh, this is great podcast right here. Like that to me is exactly what I want to hear when I listen to a podcast. It's like a little bit of world history, a little bit of banter, and then you learn something at the end of it.
yeah, exactly. I think the beauty of the podcast, you can kind of expand on the questions and answers with some interesting facts, like why is it called the Lantern Rouge? I never knew that. That was fun.
Yeah. So your plan is this was sort of like a backdoor pilot we were talking about. This is kind of a road test, the crash test dummy, whatever you call it. You're hoping to do something like this in the future.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about it for a bit. That we've got a lot of really keen quizzes, mainly regulars that come every week that I think would be fantastic guests to bring on and answer questions in the same vein as we just did to you, Taylor.
Yep.
And have a bit of a, I guess, competition to see who can get the highest score. And over, maybe a season of 10 quizzes. And then, maybe drip feed around a day. Our format is 5 rounds of trivia and maybe do 1 round per day, which might be 20, 25 minutes, which is a digestible podcast.
Yeah.
Every morning so you can listen to it on the way to work or whatever it is.
It feels like a great drive to work sort of podcast.
Exactly. And as you say, a bit of banter, bit of interesting facts. You were surprised with a couple that you got right.
I was, yes.
Thomas Edison won.
Yes.
Whoopi Goldberg. So that was good. I don't think there's too much like this out here in New Zealand. I could be wrong. I haven't really done any research on it.
There's not a lot of podcasts in New Zealand, to be honest. Like a lot of them are just done by the big companies like ZM have a podcast, but that's just them podcasting their usual radio show. So
exactly.
I think it's well worth doing. So if the people want to find out, it's not live yet. This, like we said, this is kind of our crash test dummy experiment. But if people if they like the sound of that, and they would like to know when to be notified of when the podcast drops, they can follow you on Facebook, GQuiz.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way. Well, once we get it up and running, we'll advertise it on our Facebook page. You just GQuiz. And
I'm sure I'll give it a share on all of my pages when it comes out as well, because I think it's a great idea.
I've got a couple of two pairs of regulars that have said they'd be keen to come. They're local in Wellington, so they'll come into the office. But hopefully distance with Zoom, distance won't stop it. Like, if I need it, I'd like to do it again with you, Taylor, or
yes,
there's, a couple of people at Moi Moi or
Mm.
Bridie's or one of the other quizzes down
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
that would like to participate in the
Yeah.
quiz.
Well,
That, you know.
I'm such a narcissist. I would just enjoy doing this kind of thing 3 or 4 times a year where I just answer the questions. Like I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it would be a fun podcast. So
Absolutely.
trivia is, as you can see, with the stuff quiz, the chase, etc., and yeah, it means you kind of can do it, and people at home can kind of answer the questions as well
Yeah,
as we go along. I'm probably
absolutely.
might be a little bit quicker than you there as well, Taylor. So
I think
I
that's
don't
almost a definite.
know.
Well, yeah, so thanks very much for joining me on the podcast, Sam. And I look forward to hearing when the full thing comes out. Anything else, any closing thoughts you want to leave the audience with?
No, I just appreciate you, Taylor, for kind of. Oh, obviously, I've bounced a few questions off you over the last couple of months about podcasting because it's very, very new to me.
Mm,
I'm used to just running trivia at a pub.
yeah.
Obviously, I did a little bit of online stuff during COVID, but a little bit of trepidation. How's it going to go? So I kind of didn't really want to. Was a bit had a bit of trepidation in terms of getting it off the ground. So I
Hmm.
appreciate you kind of let's do it, and
Yeah,
I had a
no,
great time. So appreciate it.
I'll encourage anyone to get out there and do stuff because there's, like we said, there's nothing in New Zealand at the moment. No one's really doing homegrown kind of podcasts. I mean, they are out there, but they only get to a certain level. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, no. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
All
Hope
right.
the rest of your week goes well, and yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Taylor.
Alrighty, and we are back. How was that? Did you enjoy listening to that? I did warn you. I told you I am not very good at quizzes, so it was frankly embarrassing how badly I messed up that last bit, given that Sam literally told me some of the answers to try and, make sure the the last round got a little bit of exposure. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. As of the recording of this podcast, the quiz podcast, or whatever Sam chooses to call it. He may call it the G Quiz podcast. I'm not quite sure, but if you want, if if that format that we just did was enticing to you, and you'd like to be informed as to when a proper version of that podcast comes out, then go ahead and follow the G Quiz page on Facebook. I'll chuck the link to that in the show notes, and you can find that. If you're a regular quiz goer of the quizzes that I host, that'll be nothing new to you. And I look forward to seeing you at our next quiz night. If you're not, I'd love to see you at one of the quiz nights. They are a lot of fun. As you can tell, there's a good mix of questions. They kind of give you a chance to get what the answer is, kind of work it out with your team. They're just a really, really good quiz format. So through Can Do Comedy, we run one every Tuesday, and they're both in Christchurch. Every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. at Bridie's Bar and Bistro. That one has really been picking up in the new year, which is fantastic. So knock on wood, that one will continue for a long time. And then, as always, 6:30 on Wednesdays at Moi Moi on Wells Street. That is my regular quiz that I host. By the time this podcast drops, I will have been and gone to Dunedin. Somehow it's turned into this kind of yearly pilgrimage with me and two other lads. We make the drive down, the two guys, Steve King, no, not that one, and Tim Kelly, another very, very funny young man. Somehow it turned into a sort of, we did it once. We were going to go with a few of us, but then COVID happened and people couldn't make it, and it ended up just being me, Steve, and Steve, and Tim that went down, and yeah, apparently it's becoming a yearly tradition. So keep an eye on the Dunedin Comedy page next year. We'll probably do it again. The other one to announce before I sign off is we are doing a couple of shows for the Cancer Society of Canterbury. So it is on the 15th of February at 7 o'clock, which is a Thursday. It is going to be taking over our a normal Laugh Cellar show. So if you're already planning on coming along to the Laugh Cellar, you don't have to do anything else. Just show up. And it's pretty much just a normal comedy show, except we're going to be donating 100% of the tickets, like ticket money, to the Cancer Society of Canterbury. And we're doing it under the show name of Chuckles for Charity, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've always wanted to have a sort of regular charity show, give it a sort of generic name like Chuckles for Charity. We pick a new charity each time we do it, or we can do repeat ones, whatever it is. This particular time, we are donating to the Cancer Society, which is, I think, a good cause. Apparently, it affects 1 in 3 New Zealanders, and probably worldwide. I imagine the statistics are the same. But they predict that's going to go up to 1 in 2 at some point. So very, very worthy cause to get behind. Send them a little bit of money. Hopefully we can figure out... Well, not we. Hopefully with the money we send, they can use that in treating people. And they also donate to research. So hopefully we can figure out how to, if not cure cancer, just mitigate it so it's not such a devastating... condition, illness. I'm not quite sure what the correct word is. We all know what cancer is. I don't know. I hope we can help in some small way by donating a couple of bucks. 2 or 3 times a year. I think that's a good cause for us to get behind. And then on the Saturday following that, the 17th, we are going to be doing a sort of private show for a lot of the patients actually in the the treatment facility they've got. So there's people staying there while they're receiving treatment. They've got family members, volunteers, staff members. We're going to do a sort of, just a comedy show for them to try and give them a couple of hours of escapism and hopefully give them a good kind of Saturday evening. But as of right now, that one's not a public event. It's just going to be a kind of private thing for their internal list of volunteers and staff and everything. But it may one day be open to the public. So flick us a DM on Can Do Comedy's Facebook page if that's the kind of thing you would like to get behind. Maybe we could sort of combine the two together. If the charity show and the In Your House show if they both go well, maybe we could sort of combine them and do like a combined charity in your house kind of show at the Cancer Society. We're not really too sure what we're going to do yet. These are all just a trial run, but I'm feeling very optimistic about it. It's been really cool. It's been weeks of work and planning, and I'm just stoked to be able to announce these shows. Oh, one more thing, of course, we've got the live Ruddle Me This on the 13th of February as well, so that same week. It's going to be a big week for me. I'm going to have the live Ruddle Me This on Tuesday, Wednesday, the quiz at Moi Moi. Thursday, the show for the Cancer Society. Friday, don't think I can announce it yet, but I have got quite a cool little surprise coming for that. And then Saturday, the other show at the Cancer Society. So it's going to be a very, very big week for me. Alrighty, I have rambled for far too long. It is another tiny little quick update I can give you before I sign off. And this is the one for the people that have been following me since day one, like back in Fukuoka, Japan, is once I edit this, I'm going to get up, have a shower, and then another very good friend of mine, John Bear, or Yon, as people from back in the day in Fukuoka will remember. He was one of the comics I sort of came up with over there. He's going to be visiting New Zealand, so big shout out to Yon there. Check out John Bear, the YouTube channel. He's a really, really talented YouTube-y filmmaker kind of character, and a very, very good friend of mine. So if you've been following since the Comedy Fukuoka days, that name will mean something to you, but to others maybe not. But go and check out what John does anyway. He's a very, very talented filmmaker. All right, that's enough for me. I'm just whittering on now. Appreciate you listening, of course, as always. We'll be back next week with a new episode on Monday and potentially a very exciting announcement for the podcast. Can't really say too much about it just yet, but keep your eyes peeled, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Have a lovely week. Ruddler out.